I won't lie, gameplay looks good. It does. When it comes to stealth, I really appreciated this new rope swing, whatever you want to call it, how you can use that to swing across to different platforms, whether it's a tree above, using that to get to another platform, or an air assassinating from the rope. You know, it's very intuitive, and I think you can probably use that in many different ways and avenues to come up some really creative stealth routes. Same with parkour. They showcased a little bit going prone under the water with the blowpipe. That was really cool. And, you know, overall, it's a massive revamp, you know, when it comes to stealth. It's completely bigger, better, you know, unlike any type of stealth we've seen in an Assassin's Creed game. Now, I really appreciate and I like that, and I'm gonna have a good time playing it. I wouldn't have minded seeing a bit of social stealth as well showcased, you know, a different type of gameplay. So we see those black box missions, if you want to call it that side mission of assassinating those two targets. And then it would have been good to see a bit of, you know, blending with the crowd, walking through a city. How does that work? What's around you? Things can you pick up to find out about your target? And the fact that they didn't show that makes me think maybe it's not that type of game. You know, AC Odyssey didn't have social stealth at all, and that was a very missed feature. That was something I would have loved to have seen. Obviously, we got it back again with, partially with Valhalla, and then sort of how we know it from AC2 onwards with Mirage. So it makes me think that maybe there's not going to be any type of social stealth in the game. But you know what? We haven't seen everything. But again, to me, it's a yellow flag, not a red flag. It's a yellow flag because I would have thought they would have wanted to show it. Again, with Hidden Blade combat, we didn't see any Hidden Blade combat. You would have thought that's something they would have been excited to show off, because that's what people have been wanting to be returned for years. And they didn't show it. Either it's not in the game and we were wrong, or it is and they just didn't show it for some reason. Same with social stuff. The game overall looked a little bit rough around the edges to me. Some of the NPCs were sort of just clipping in and out a little bit. You know, I'll go back over and have a look. It wasn't egregious, and it is still a work in progress, so I'm not hating on it for that. You know, there's still a few months down the road until they go gold even. You know, it's a work in progress, as they said, so I'm not complaining, but it is something I noticed. Parkour, you know, to most people that parkour will be brilliant, and I'm not faulting it for that at all. I'm not faulting it for that reason. You know, for me, I've been going back and playing a lot of AC2 and Brotherhood. I'm currently in a Brotherhood playthrough, just finished AC2. We'll be making a video on those. And I've been getting really re-interested back in the old parkour, how you would climb and how it was much more intricate. You had to, it was more of a platformer, especially playing the old Prince of Persia game that I've made a video on recently. You can check it out. Parkour in those games, you really have to think about where you're going, how you're moving. Okay, this is a completely different approach to a game. Same from, you know, Origins onwards. They don't really go for that style of traversal in the world anymore. And, you know, I've made my peace with it. That's just what it is. So yeah, to me personally, the parkour, it wasn't what I was hoping for, but it's what I expected. That being said though, it doesn't look bad. It looks better than what we've had in the last few games. It looks faster and more reactive, especially paired up with Naoe's flips and tricks and stuff. I would be interested to see if Yasuke can climb at all. I should hope that he probably would at least be able to climb buildings, you know, maybe not do flips, but, you know, at least, you know, traverse in the same way you'd expect to traverse the world in an AC game. Again, time will tell, I guess. Maybe we'll have to even wait till the game comes out. I'm sure we'll see a big marketing push with the months leading up to the release, so I'm sure we'll see a lot more. Here's the thing with Ubisoft. I feel like they don't know how to showcase their games properly. They used to. I just don't think they do now. With Mirage, they could have done a much better deep dive in the presentation. It wouldn't have taken too much longer, and I would have personally been way more interested. Show your dyeing the robes, show walking through the world and social stealth, and then show your black box, and I'm interested. What they do with their presentations is the same with Assassin's Creed Shadows. They will just show a black box mission because that's just, it shows all those core elements of gameplay, and I understand that, but they don't show anything else, and for me it's like, it doesn't entice me enough, and I feel like I want to see how the inventory works. You know, I want to see a viewpoint. Show me a viewpoint. I want to see how different robes are interchanged. I want to see Hidden Blade combat, you know, on top of what we saw. All we've got to do is add maybe 1 more minute of runtime for that, and they didn't show that. So again, when I don't see things that I would have expected to see, that is major red flags to me. But, you know, it's what I expected I would see, and you know what? It's a little bit better than what I expected. Overall, yeah, it did look a little bit rough around the edges when it came to some of the interaction with NPCs specifically, but it still has a polished feel to it. It looks quite polished. The graphics aren't as good as I thought they were going to be, but they are a step up, and I think they're trying to go for a bit more of a animated, stylized approach, maybe? I don't know. One thing I didn't like was the borderline hip-hop beats going on when Yasuke was fighting. Is it Yasuke or Yasuke? Because the developers have been saying Yasuke, but then Naoe in the game said Yasuke. So I don't know, I'll have to look that up. I keep flip-flopping between Yasuke and Yasuke. Anyway, next, watching Prince of Persia video for sure. Love your videos. I appreciate that, the Assassinator. Check it out, and you might be the one to win the $20 gift card rewards. You can get it for Steam, for Xbox, for PlayStation, or whatever. If you are the one that guesses the clues and ends up winning, then it's up to you what you want it for. But yeah, that's something. If you guys are interested, you want a free $20 gift card for any gaming platform of your choice. All you have to do is watch my Prince of Persia video. It's called The Prince of Persia Sands of Time. It's still amazing, and I tell you what you got to do in there. There's a little riddle going on, and if you win, if you figure out what it is, and you're the first one to do it, so far no one's claimed it, nobody's figured it out. If you figure it out, you win. And I straight up just give you the money. So going back to AC Shadows, it looks very much like a, you know, an Odyssey 2, if you will. And again, I expected that because Ubisoft Quebec are the sub-developer of Ubisoft as a whole that made Syndicate and they made Odyssey. They very much have a specific way in which they make their games that is very obvious and evident in what we see, like in Odyssey, but also in Shadows. That sort of Quebecian DNA, if you will. And that's not inherently a bad thing, but to me it doesn't appeal too much, just because, again, I like the Assassin's Creed games for what they did for me, you know, when I first got into the series, and they don't really go in that same direction anymore. I'm past the point of getting annoyed about it. I won't lie, I used to get a little bit annoyed about it, like, but these days I'm very much on the mindset of, it's different, that's fine, I don't care anymore, it's fine, I like my games, you know, there'll be the people that like those games, and it's fair enough, there's enough room for everybody. But that being said, if I think something's bad, and I'm just gonna give my opinion in general, you know, I'm gonna do that. So yeah, looks okay, looks good for what it is. Objectively, looks okay. There was a few references to, you know, I'll work in the shadows to serve the light. I really hope they don't overuse that term again and again, because you're just gonna make the term meaningless. But, you know, that's a completely different discussion. I think you guys are pretty excited, right? What do you think? What do you guys think? I'm gonna read the chat a little bit more now. Who else was hoping to see Hidden Blade combat? Yeah, exactly. We were hoping for it. They didn't show it. Are we sure it's gonna be in the game? Or are we not? I don't know. From what I've seen, there's not been any official confirmation. You know, or if there has been, how do we know it's not just going to be like Valhalla, where you hold RB and you just go? Do you know what I mean? It might just be like that again. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Infinity wasn't shown. I really thought they would show it off. They'd show us what the fuck is going on with this whole live service thing, and they haven't. Now, partially, I think that's probably because they know it's going to be a shitstorm in the comments. Everyone's going to have a lot to say, probably including me, if I think it's deserving of criticism, which, yeah, let's face it probably is. Yeah, I am assuming they wanted to get good press from Shadows. They didn't want anything to muddy the waters just yet, and they'll probably shadow drop the information, you know, on their website. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm just surprised that they haven't said anything about Assassin's Creed Infinity. Surely they would. Surely. You know, we're still just as much as in the dark as we were before. We can pay for the game and pre-order it, but it's coming out on a live service we know nothing about. Well, how's that going to work? We don't know. And before I want to give my money to something, I want to know exactly where the money's going, how it's going to work. Am I going to have to, you know, if I pre-order the game, then I find out that I have to pay $10 a month for Infinity just to play the game I already paid for, I'm going to want my money back. I'm not saying that's what it is. I have no idea. I'm just using that as a egregious example. I'm sure it might not be like that. There've just been rumours circling in the wind of an Infinity subscription model. So yeah, we still don't know. So don't know how to feel about it, really. I feel like they should have shown us some Assassin's Creed Infinity, you know, but they didn't. So we'll have to keep our eyes out. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled. Obviously, when we do hear stuff, I'm going to cover you guys. I'm going to cover you guys? Yeah, I'm going to keep you guys covered. And I'm also going to keep you guys covered of anything more that we get for Assassin's Creed Red.